What's up, traders? Welcome back to the Hot Seat, sponsored by Tradezella. Today, I've got a Black Shirt Club member, Gino, is in the house, and we're talking about how he's using custom tags to improve his trading week by week. We're going to go over his stats. He's been kind enough to open it up, show us the stats, and show us how he's using Tradezella, specifically the Progress Tracker, to make improvements and see his P&L curve head through the roof. So stay tuned. And if you are not signed up for Tradezella, check the description to this video. There's discount codes and links down there. Big thank you to Tradezella for making this happen. And let's get into it with Gino. Let's start with this because I don't think a lot of people are actually using this to its fullest yet. And you just said before we started the recording how you have slacked a little bit on this and it's showing in the trading. So what, I guess, first motivated you to take advantage of this and start using the progress tracker? Did you feel like you needed something to help you be more accountable?
Yeah, so I used to have this in my daily report cards, but there was no way to see how consistent I was. So I moved it into the manual rules here, basically moved my morning routine into the manual rules and started doing this about a month ago. So now it just kind of gives me a good overview of how consistent I've been and when I'm not being consistent.
It's cool. So you come in here, you can see the day, you can see the P&L, you can see if you do the stuff, the daily checklist here. That's behind our heads right now, but I can slide us over here like that. Yeah. So you can see no cold shower, red P&L. Interesting. And then even if you go here, like the cold shower and the meditation and the breath work, those ones have the lowest follow rate so far. And I guess the colors here, the darker means you do all of it. And then when it's lighter, like here and here, it means you're not hitting all of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the last 2 weeks I've been slacking on the discipline and it's definitely seeped into my trading quite a bit.
So let's take a look. We're looking at the last 30 days of the stats here across a couple funded accounts. So everybody watching, Gino has a couple of different accounts. We're just looking at the lead accounts here. So we're not going to deal with the copy trading stuff. But the trades are quick for you, Gino. It's good to see winning trade and losing trade are not that far. It's not like you're holding your losing trades much longer, 8 versus 6 minutes. Do you have any thoughts on that? Is that something you've been trying to cut back?
Yeah, I stopped scaling out too. So I'm all in, all out. And when I changed to that, that's definitely kind of giving me more accurate hold times for when my stop either gets hit or my target.
All in, all out, meaning if you take the trade, you're not cutting the trade in pieces. You're saying full in, full out, close it at a target or close it at a loss.
Right. Yeah. Setting my stop, setting my target, all one order.
Got it.
And just letting them hit.
One thing we talked about was like using this period over the last month to gather data for your trades, for the reversion trades that you've been working on. You can see you've, in just the last 30 days, bro, 100 trades have been taken, 50 winners, 50 losers right down the middle, which is pretty cool. Do you feel like the 100 trades number has been enough for you to now start to get clarity and put some rules in place around the data? Or do you feel like you need to collect more? Like because I'm sure there's listeners thinking, I want to use these stats to refine my strategy. How many trades do I actually need to log before it's like confident in the data?
Yeah, for me, I think at least 50 is what I need. So since this reversion strategy is a little bit more high volume, 100 is a good number. But whereas if it's a strategy where I'm only taking maybe 1 or 2 trades a day, then I think something like 20 or 30 is more than enough to start
100%.
formulating rules and iterating through to come up with the best rule set possible based on the data.
Okay. Are you doing anything else like that you would give advice to in here to help come up with the rules? I know we've worked on the tags a little bit. Have you been going into that at all? Like looking at this?
So I used to use the tags quite a bit for this ATR reversion. I kind of stopped, but the custom tags have been a huge benefit to me. It's like one thing I used to always key in on was the CVD on Bookmap. So if you look at the custom tags, I have a custom tag for that for whether I'm trading with it or against it. So it's the CVD direction
right here.
Yeah, so this is just one kind of like KPI for me for when I was trading the VWAP stuff was whether my trade was with a CVD or against it. So every trade I would track whether it was with it or against it. And then I was able to kind of see like, okay, see the trends over time.
So here on the right side, performance by CVD direction. On the left side, trade distribution. So against it and with it were about the same, but the ones that were with it are dramatically costing you more money than against it. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, so if you looked a little bit more in the past, I haven't really been tracking it that much with the new strategy.
Make this wider, go
But if you
further.
pull it more in the past, like even the whole year,
There we go.
yeah.
Now it's
So
showing against
right,
costing you more money. Got it.
yeah. So using that data, I was like, okay, when I'm against it, I should either sit out or size down, just to try to keep. Since based on the data, I know that going against it just doesn't benefit me well.
Do you feel like you have enough data here again to that question? Because like when I look at this, I see 20 trades, 60 trades. So you're taking way more with it than against it, but against it still costing you way more money than with it. So do you think
Right.
that's enough? It's 80, right? Like 80, it's over 80 trades. So I
Yeah. I
guess,
mean,
yeah.
I would say it's enough there, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
I came into before I started tracking that, I had a feeling that staying with it would be more profitable.
Sure.
So naturally, I was staying off it usually when I'm against it. But yeah, I'd say there's definitely enough trades there to make that decision.
And for everybody, CVD direction is a indicator on Bookmap. It's a volume indicator. So if you're not using Bookmap, you maybe never have heard of that, but it's something that Gino uses in all of his trading. What's another tag in here, Gino, that maybe you would say, like to some people, they'll look at all the tags you've created here and they're going to be like, holy crap, that's a lot of them. Do you have any like, hey, just start with setups, just start with mistakes? Which one would you go with? Opening range? Like, what would you say?
So the original idea results, I think, has been one of the um, also one of the more beneficial things to me. So before I enter a trade, I say, okay, I'm going to enter here. This is my target, and this is where my stop is. So that I call my original idea. After I enter the trade, I don't change that original idea, right? So whether if I decide to exit early, maybe for break even or a small win or small loss, I'll still track for the trade what happened for the original idea, whether it was right or whether it was wrong. So what that kind of gives me is, if I'm trying to cut losers early, how much money am I saving myself there by cutting losers early and being discretionary? And then on the flip side, if I'm cutting winners early, it's going to tell me like, hey, you had 80 trades that where your idea went to the target, but maybe red on a few of those. That means I cut them early. So this is giving me a ton of insight into like, and confidence into holding my trades longer based on like how my ideas are working out or how they're not.
If the target would have actually been hit versus did you just
Mhm.
choke the trade or act
Right.
prematurely? That's another really powerful one. This one's so good. I feel like Tradezella almost has to have this like built in, bro. Like this one, I mean, that would be so important for everyone to know. Is there any other one on this list too? Wins versus losses, position size, mistakes, anything else that like you're defaulting to with or against VWAP? I know VWAP really doesn't matter. This is what you were saying, right? Like performance by this with the VWAP is actually costing you more money than against the VWAP because it's a reversion strategy. So there, that kind of like proves that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is, we use the VWAP anchored to the New York start often. So this is just a good, simple one to say like, okay, how am I when I'm trading with it? How am I when I'm trading against it?
Yeah.
Most
Okay,
of the
let's
time
take a look at
with
it.
it.
Oh, this is cool. So you can see the calendar of the month too, like this. Nice. So big takeaway from this month, from everything you're doing with Tradezella, is really how important the routine is, right? Like that seems to be the takeaway. Is like if you have a couple of rules in place, even now that we've gathered some data with a solid routine, now it seems like you feel confident that this can kind of come together for you because we've been close to a couple of payouts. So now I think we can get this over the line. Yeah.
Yeah. February and March. The beginning of February is when I really started to dial in on the morning routine, and I wasn't using the progress tracker at the time. But February and March was when I really was hitting it hard in the morning routine, and I was green pretty much every week except for one of them.
Love it.
And coming into April, as you can see, I've been slacking and getting wildly undisciplined a few days, and haven't been trading well. So definitely
We get
something.
back on the horse.
Yep.
We get back on the horse. I think it's shown here too, bro. Like the minus 612 on the average losing day, and then the average winning day is plus
Mhm.
250. Like that's it right there. That's the area that we're working on right now. It's just getting those red days smaller. So then everybody, what did we do? We go to his notebook. We go to the left side here where he's got rules now for these ATR reversion ideas. General rules: no reentry after stopping out. Morning session must have at least one major confluence. Stop trading after 2 net wins, 2 net losses. He has now some rules in place after collecting 100 trades behind those ideas of what we can like hopefully do to limit the red days. Am I right, Gino? That's the main idea here.
Yep, exactly that. That's the big goal for the rules is limit the red days and keep the winning days about where they are. Just get those red days down.
You could then basically say by tracking the trades, gathering 50 to 100 trades, putting them into Tradezella, that gives you the numbers to then build the rules around. So without good tracking, you don't really know what rules to make or where the adjustments need to be that could potentially completely change the P&L.
Yep, exactly. Think about what your KPIs are for the strategy, create custom tags for those, and then just log, 50 to 100. And the numbers for me would always just jump out at me. I'd review them once a week, once a month, and they would always just jump out. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Figure out your KPIs, create custom tags for them, and then track them and just see what the data says and make decisions based on the data.
Last question, how many minutes a day do you think people should spend on their Tradezella? I think people get intimidated by it easily. What do you think? What do you do?
For my daily report card and logging things, I'm at like 30 minutes max. But I'll try to do it throughout the day. Obviously now I'm taking a little bit more trades, so it takes a little bit longer, but yeah, I would say if you're, find a way to only spend 30 minutes max on it. It's got to be something that you can continue doing every day and not have it be too much of a burden.
For sure. Do you feel like it's worth the 30 minutes?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, when I came into the Black Shirt Club, this was one thing I wasn't doing, like journaling, and that helped me highlight so many issues and errors and things I had that I kind of started attacking one by one. Yeah, I would 100% say it's worth 30 minutes.
Cool. Well, thanks for doing this, buddy. I think people really, really find value in this. Hopefully they'll be motivated by you saying even that at the end there, that it won't take too much, but you can get so much from it. Because all we need to do is just get more people using Tradezella, because it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. That's why I like doing these little short videos for everybody to just see. You put the data in here, you put the trades in here, you do a little bit of work to do the daily report cards and log everything. Even they make it easier now with the progress tracker. Like you put in a little work, you get a lot out of it. So Gino, you're the man, buddy. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you having me on here.